guys, so today I wanted to do my take on an Edward Scissorhands costume. I will of course be using the new Sugarpill Edward Scissorhands palette. Alright guys, let's jump into this. Okay, so we're just going to start by applying just a little bit of foundation. So I'm just going to start by applying a little bit of foundation. I'm going to do a slightly lighter shade than my skin tone. It'll be pretty close. And I'm just using the MAC Waterweight Foundation for this. I'm so squeaky right now, like this like bodysuit is like... Oh yeah, I forgot to remind you guys to always have a reference picture pulled up, so let me just pull one up. So I just have my reference picture right here. I'm going to do the same kind of thing that we did with Maleficent, where instead of doing a super light foundation, I'm just going to do a little bit of a more intense highlight and contour. Anytime that you do super pale skin or like more pale than your skin tone, it kind of makes it a little bit harder to wear it throughout the day because, you know, if you're sweating, if you're drinking, she keeps scratching her cone. If you're sweating or if you're drinking, your makeup will come off a little bit easier throughout the day or night. So if you go to like wipe your skin and it's like your natural skin tone under this like super pale skin, I mean, whatever you want to do. Personally, I just think it's a good alternative to, you know, wear your natural skin tone. I'm going to be using my Nudestix sculpting pencil again in light. And I'm just going to really highlight without a ton. And I'm just going to bring this right above my brows in kind of like backwards L shapes. Well, I guess one of them isn't backwards. And then I'm going to take my little brush to blend this out, and I'm just going to pat over top to blend it out. That's just going to keep our color placement where we, you know, placed it. And over towards my jawline here, I'm just going to kind of start to hollow it out. Now, in the pictures, Johnny Depp kind of has his brows covered. You can choose to cover them if you want. I think I'm just going to keep mine. Now, for my contour, I'm going to be using Anastasia's Dusty Rose eyeshadow first. So I'm just going to be grabbing that on a little brush, and I'm going to start to really kind of hollow out my cheeks. And then I'm going to bring it right down once we have less product on our brush. So you're starting kind of where you want the most product placed and the deeper color. Look at all these bristles flying everywhere. And then I'm bringing it right down once we have less product on our brush. I'm going to go down the sides of the nose a little bit as well. And then I'm also going to take that Dusty Rose on a little, well not a little, I'm going to take it on a pretty big blending brush. And then I'm going to start to hollow out my eyes a little bit. So I'm following my eye socket, but I'm keeping it light right near my eye there. I'm just gonna put down a little eye base first. Just using concealer for this. Going back into our red shadow here, and we're just going to start to really hollow out these eyes. And then we can kind of go straight up from our inner corner and up towards our brow here, because we're going to start to kind of make this sort of like sad looking eye shape. There's some people doing some shit outside. I should have told them that I'd be filming today. I should have warned them. I'm just going to take this a little bit around my nose as well, and then I'm going to go underneath the lip as well. I'm just taking a slightly bigger brush and just going over the edges here. I'm just really hollowing that out. And then I'm also going to take that color down the sides of my temples. I guess that's not really my temples as much as like my brow. From the Sugarpill Edward Scissorhands palette, I'm going to be using the color Castle on the Hill, which is this kind of like almost purpley brown neutral color. Yes, a neutral from Sugarpill. So I'm just, again, placing the brush first where I want the heaviest deposit of color, and then starting to blend it out. And then I'm going to take that color right on the inner corner here and really start to hollow out my eye. So we're going to start to really hollow out this eye here and really make kind of like our sad looking eyebrow shape. And just taking it on the outer corner here. Not blending it up too high because again, we want to keep this kind of like curved down shape. Just looking really sad. You've got scissors for hands, man. You're not a happy guy. You know what I mean? It's just, it's not a good life. I'm going to take a slightly smaller brush and I'm going to go right into this inner corner here and just really start to kind of darken that eye bag. Again, I'm keeping this kind of like open area on the, right under my lower lash line. I'm going to grab a shader brush and I'm going to, look at how I'm tilting my brush. I'm just going to really shade that kind of sad looking shape in. And we can keep that a little bit more of kind of like a blunt shape. Doesn't have to be super blended out. Feeling good, looking good. Now this is where I wanted to change up the look a little bit because, you know, there's obviously lots of Edward Scissorhands costumes out there. So I wanted to try something a little bit different. So I'm going to be using these two colors from the Sugarpill palette, the blue and then the kind of coral. And I'm just gonna go ahead and add those in. So I'm just taking the coral first, called Suburbia, on a big blending brush, and I'm picking up a ton of color. And I'm going to start to just kind of like smoke out the edges with it. And then on the bottom, I'm gonna take some of the blue. I don't know how this is gonna turn out. And I'm just gonna do the same kind of thing. I'm literally about to beat the shit out of these kids talking outside of my house right now. I'll run out there with my scissor hands on and be like, what's up, motherfucker? How do you politely say, can you please pipe the fuck down? That's my real question. So I'm really just packing that blue and yellow on there for a nice avant-garde scissor hands look. And then what you can do is kind of go back in with your dark colors and just really make them super intense. Camping's intense. And then I'm just doing my nose a little bit more here. So Johnny Depp kind of has this little thing that comes up in this one picture that I'm looking at. And then these are really like hollowed out. So I'm going to kind of, almost like a skeleton looking nose kind of thing. And then I'm just going to write my nostrils. That'll be great. I'm just picking up a little bit of that red earth and I'm just taking it into the corners of my mouth. And then I'm actually going to dust that on my lips. And then I'm going to take a little bit of my Castle on the Hill color. Hold on, I really gotta like talk to these motherfuckers. Hold on. Okay, never mind, they look like they could beat me up. And then I'm gonna take a little bit more of that red earth color and I'm just going to go over top of my lips with it. And then I'm going to take that same highlighting pencil that we used from before and I'm going to just go over the corners of my lips. And then I can just kind of take like a little blending brush and just blend out that highlight. But he definitely has it like super dark in the inner lip, so I'm just going to kind of continue to darken that up. Next what I'm going to do is apply my lash glue cuts. So to do this, I'm just taking a latex-based lash glue. If you are allergic to latex, don't use this. You can use a couple other things as alternatives. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to apply this directly to my face. So we'll do one on the cheek first so you guys can kind of see. Just in a kind of rough shape like that. And then what I'm going to do is take a palette knife. Be really careful not to cut yourself. It's just basically like a dull knife for mixing. And I'm just going to go right through it and start to shape my scars like that. Just wiping off the excess product on the back of my hand. We want there to almost be like a little divot right down the center. You could use rigid collodion for your scars if you want them to be a little bit quicker, but his scars are raised, so that's why I'm using this. So once I have my rough shape kind of done, I'm just going to leave it, and I'm going to continue to do them over the rest of my face, and I'm going to let it dry completely. So once your scars are fully dry, you can powder them. This is fully dry. You can't see it. This is not. So I'm just going to grab a fluffy brush, and I'm going to pick up a lot of powder on it so that I don't wreck it. And then I'm just going to stipple over top so that the latex is no longer sticky, and we can go ahead and paint it. So now your scars are going to look like they ain't shit. We are going to fix that. I'm just going to take that color Red Earth from earlier that we used to contour, and I'm going to take it on a tiny little brush. And what you're going to do is go on the outside of where your scars were. So we're just basically following the pattern of the scar, and then you can go right down the center as well. So now that I'm all scarred up, I'm going to take Vamp from Anastasia, just a liquid lipstick, and a tiny, tiny little brush. And I'm going to grab like the smallest amount of that ever, and I'm just going to take it down the middle of some of the cuts. I'm really strongly thinking about putting false lashes on. I just kind of feel like lashes wouldn't be the worst thing for Edward, you know? So this is the final look, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something cool today. Let me know what you'd like to see next in the comments below, and I will get back to you. Another big shout out to my friend Justine for making this entire costume for me. If you guys want to check out her work, you can on For the Love of Cosplay. It's so weird talking with latex on my lips. Her Instagram and Facebook are For the Love of Cosplay. Check her out. Alright guys, peace out.